Hello, so first things first, I'm sorry that this is a late video. There's been a lot of things going on in my life, so that's that. We might as well just move on to what we're supposed to be talking about in this video, which is the episode and the differences. So, this episode takes place in the game, basically the final hour of chapter 20 all the way up to chapter 21, the third hour, which at the very beginning when the old man appears. So, let's begin with the differences. So, the first difference that we see is that Gorgon wasn't on her third ascension form, which is basically her in a white outfit, basically. I'll show you what the difference is, basically, right on here. Like, you can see, like, she's mostly what you see her normally in the anime, but in the game, we see her in her third ascension form. Also, I should have said earlier, but dialogues and changed, blah blah blah. The same thing as I've been saying before. Dialogues change because it has to fit with the context of the setting, what's happening in the situation and stuff. So some of those dialogues were cut basically from the anime. So apparently in the game also, and this is also part of the one that I just talked about where the dialogues missing and stuff, cut or stuff. Apparently in the game we lost Ketz's serpent, so Mash has to carry us while running from the mud. It's basically because Mash was taught how to use the mana to generate, like, so she can basically walk on top of the mud, like, you know, Naruto and stuff. But that's basically it. So it definitely put a weird picture in my head on, like, how the situation is playing out, since we're being carried and then the situation's happening to us, like, you know, the part in the anime where we're basically just flying off away from Anna. Like, of course, you know it's Anna. But instead, we're just being carried off by Mash, and then she's all crying and stuff. Almost crying, I think. So that's definitely weird. The next difference is basically, Ishtar was with us when we met up with Gil on the cigarette before flying off to get ready for the plan, and where she starts shooting the Lamus surrounding Tiamat. Also, next would be, Ritsuka and Mash actually got knocked out by the Lamu. It's basically when Dr. Romani tells us that there's a large Lamu coming in, and apparently we got face planted by the Lamu, who actually knocked us out cold, and only Gil was, like, still standing up. So, that scene was cut. And the next thing is, Tiamat didn't actually say Kingu. Like, she didn't say Kingu's name. That's, like, the only time I can remember, at least right now, that Tiamat says something else than So, I'm actually surprised that they cut out that line actually, because, like, it would mean that she just doesn't say every time. She knows at least who Kingu is. But, oh well. So the next part is another part of the dialogue thing I talked about. The dialogue before Ishtar uses her NB's gun is basically like Gilgamesh and Ishtar talking about, like, are you really sure you want to do this? Like, you worked hard for Uruk and now you're just letting me destroy it. It's like, what else is there to do? So, that part of the dialogue is gone. Also, Gilgamesh's dialogue during the Brace for Impact is gone. He was talking to us about the situation stuff. It's like, it's similar to the dialogue that they talked about in the anime. It's like, I'm leaving this up to you, basically. It's before that. And then, the final difference that I actually saw was that Jaguar Warrior still hasn't shown up. Like, she actually showed up way earlier than Merlin did, which would then lead up to my thoughts, so I'm just gonna save up for that. So that's all the differences that I saw. Now we can move on to my thoughts on the episode. This was just an NP Galore episode. We first saw Gorgon's NP, then we saw Kingu's NP or Enkidu, whichever one you want, and then we saw Ishtar's NP, and I'm pretty sure next up, I'm not sure about Eroshikos because, like, I've seen the animation, but I'm not really sure if that's the same thing as it, because it's just basically spears, like, that's diving onto the enemy, because that just reminds me of, like, the Tales of series whenever they do either the Holy Land spell or the Demon Land spell, because that's just how it looked like to me, and it definitely looked like also Carno's spears when he was fighting, Zeke during that part. The next thought that I wrote down is basically Using the in-game music, I think I said before, but it does put a smile on my face. Like listening to those music that I've been listening to in the game when that moment was happening. It definitely felt nice. And as I said before, during the Jaguar Warrior difference, I'm sad that Jaguar Warrior still has a channel, and this is actually making me hope that there's a good send off for the character, because like this is her basically final battle. That's basically everyone's final battle, because like in my head now it's like there really isn't much going on this. They somehow split the battle into two parts, which is definitely gonna be weird. So the next episode is gonna be the final episode in the Babylonia, where they finally defeat Tiamat, and then the episode 21 is going to be the epilogue, which I think that's how it's going to be anyway, because that's how the game did it anyway. So, and then my final thought, the old man is here. He's finally here. I really hope that it's really good. It's like top tier quality animation on like what they're gonna do to him. So, those are my thoughts. Overall, enjoyable episode. Really setting up for the final battle with Tiamat, and we'll see what happens on the final 2 episodes. So, I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye, hope you have a nice day. I'm sorry for late uploading, and I hope that you enjoy and have a nice day.